Hey everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Justin, and before I get started here, I just really wanted to thank you for the support that was shown on my last video. Of course, that being after the Toronto Maple Leafs lost Game 7, another series. But the amount of support, the people that have watched it, the people that commented, the people that liked, I just truly appreciate it. Obviously, that was like a low point. But I really just, in that video, turned on the camera and spoke from the heart. And that's what I try to do for most of my content, including this one here. I just turn on the camera and speaking. So appreciate that so much. And with that said, if you do like my content, please like, subscribe, but also comment. Let me know. I love to have this a two-way thing. I love to talk hockey. I love to talk Toronto Maple Leafs. So if you let me know what's on your mind, I'd love to chat a little bit. And on the flip side, if you don't like my content, if you think it could be better, let me know there as well. What can I do? Because I'd love to provide good content in the future. So it's been a few days since the Toronto Maple Leafs were eliminated from the 2021 playoffs and their historic collapse to the Montreal Canadiens in round one. Had a couple days to really think about it and watch a lot of people comment on my videos and a lot of people just online giving their thoughts and opinions about what went wrong. And obviously, the major attention that's been online, and I'm a part of this as well because much of my video was directed towards the top four. You know, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares. Not even Tavares because he wasn't in the conversation this playoffs because of the injury. And also because he's usually a very steady player no matter what. But those three guys, that's where the conversation has been. And with Nylander playing well, a lot of hate is being sent to Matthews and Marner. Let me clarify something really quickly here. Yes, they need to be better. 100%. And they do deserve the blame that they're getting because they didn't perform, especially for the money. However, the entire team is to blame here. Not just those two. Sure, other players came here on deals that are much more palatable for the performance that they gave, but it didn't look like majority of this team played with heart. And that's the thing that hurts the most about that whole series, really, is after they came to the 3-1 lead in the series, people stopped looking like they cared. It's not that they lost. It's really not, at least not for me. If they had played their hearts out and put up 45, 50 shots a game, and Carey Price just absolutely outperformed them, the Montreal Canadiens just absolutely outperformed them, I think that's a different story. But what we saw was the team not care, and they didn't try. And yeah, the weight of that is on the shoulders of Matthews and Marner, but like, I'll say it again, like Wayne Simmons, the third line. I thought Alex Kerfoot played pretty well, but outside of that, I mean, Nick Foligno coming in, I know he was hurt, but you want to see more. You really do. The bottom guys on the defensive unit, you want to see more out of them. And the only guys that I think really stepped up and played for every game or almost every game were Jack Campbell, William Nylander, Alex Kerfoot to an extent, and definitely Jason Spezza. Outside of that, I just thought nobody really seemed to care. Except for the fact that, you know, when we went down 2 or 3-0 and we clawed our way back, and after we lost, everybody goes, woe is me. But at the time, you have to put the work in. You have to look like you care. And like I said, if you are a team that focuses on offensive power and shots, and that's your identity, and you only put 20, 22 shots on goal in an elimination game, you're not doing yourself any justice. So with that said, I do feel for Matthews and Marner, and I can appreciate the kind of toll this is taking on them mentally. But I also just saw right before I started recording this video, Marner went out to the media and said that, you know, one loss means everybody is pushing the panic button. We're not. This is not a panic situation. This is 5 years of the same story. And I, for one, am not someone that's extremely reactive and clicks the panic button often. When everybody was saying trade Nylander for the last 6 years, I've consistently been defending him. And yes, earlier this year, I did make a video where I said I don't know where he fits in the future, but at least he stepped up and played, and I've always defended their contracts. But this isn't a panic situation. The team has seen the same results for 5 years. and not the result of losing, it's the result of not caring. And that hurts so much more. And if you're getting paid $11 million on this team, you gotta care. At the very bare minimum, you gotta care. With the fan base we've got here, with how passionate the fans are, and with how historic this franchise is, if you do not put the effort in, you will not succeed here regardless of how talented you are. Because this fan base will eat you alive. And they're doing it right now. You're seeing it. And it's gonna have a toll on you mentally, and it's gonna affect your performance. And if you put the effort in, you will be a hero here. If you just look like you try and act like you try and are able to get it done, this franchise will idolize you. Yeah, right now it's a low point. You put us in that situation. And I'm not singling anybody out here. I'm talking to the whole team. But Matthews and Marner, with the contracts you have, you're going to take the brunt of it. With the skill that you have, you're going to take the brunt of it. But as we've seen this year, and for 5 years now, skill isn't the story in this franchise. It's not. It's heart. And when half of the team is from the GTA or Ontario, you would think that these guys grew up idolizing the team, being a part of the franchise that has torn up players in the past and has lived this dream where you want to win as a Toronto Maple Leaf. And until that happens, we're not going to be satisfied. And like I said, I think the hate would be a lot less if you had shown us a performance worthy of winning and just lost given bad bounces or getting beat by the other team. That's a very legitimate thing that happens every year. There's underdogs that win every year. If Montreal came out and just purely outperformed us, that's a different story, but that's not what happened. The conversation right now is obviously specifically around Mitch Marner, because of the four guys, that seems to be the one that's being singled out as someone that's going to get traded. I'll go over my thoughts on that in the future. I do think that that's something that needs to be considered. Of the four guys, I would agree he's probably the one that makes the most sense to leave. And again, I cannot express how much that hurts me to say. When Mitch Marner was coming into the league, when we first drafted him, he became my favorite player instantly. And I bought his jersey way before my Matthews jersey. I stood by his side when everybody was saying he wouldn't make it in this league. I still remember, I've got it saved, Nick Kiprios on Sportsnet saying Mitch Marner will never be a player in the NHL. That stuff drove me and my fandom and my support for him. And I've loved watching him for 5 years. But something's got to change, and that seems to be the one that's going to do it. We're yet to see. I mean, things could change. But that's definitely where the media attention has been so far in the past couple days. I also won't get into too many words here about the potential trades that I've seen online. I agree with some of them. I very disagree with some of them. We'll see. I'll make another video to kind of give my thoughts on where my mentality would be for structuring this team in the future and where that kind of leads us in what deals we have to make and my opinions on some potential players that we could go after. But until those videos come out, again, appreciate the support so much. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm actually recording a video with a buddy of mine, another diehard Leafs fan, who's very critical and from a coaching perspective. And we'll be uploading that in the next couple days here. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, click like, subscribe, let me know how I've done. And again, I'll reiterate, don't lose your fandom over this. You know, we're Leafs fans. We've gone through a lot. Keep your head up. Stay critical, honestly, because that's the only way things are going to change. But don't lose your fandom. I've seen people burning jerseys. It's more disgraceful to see that. You know, a lot of people obviously have their opinions on what Leafs fans are, and I pride myself in not being in that mass majority. But it's embarrassing seeing people burning their jerseys. I don't agree with it. So just keep your fandom, keep your apparel, stay positive, and better things will come.